Chris Roberts is here.
Yes. Thank you.
Should I wear a hat or not wear a hat for Chris? Or should I wear it backwards?
I don't know. Is there some
I didn't shave
reverence?
my head. I got a little bit of stubble.
He's wearing his backwards.
Let's get a little backward.
Like you?
Yeah.
And then
for sure.
Because we're skaters, right? This is skater.
Wow. It's like you're trying to be out of touch. We're skaters, right? We skate.
Yeah, no, I'm making it very apparent that
what do we thrash?
I'm out.
Welcome. Here we go.
And I'm not Tony Hawk. Are you looking for a delicious and nutritious snack that packs a real protein punch? Crack into a good source of protein with tasty, healthy, wonderful pistachios.
Wonderful pistachios come in a variety of flavors and sizes. Perfect for enjoying with your family and friends or taking them with you on the go during your summer adventures.
Check out wonderfulpistachios.com to learn more about how these little green wonders can power up your day.
He tried to come meet me this weekend to skate, but too much traffic.
Oh, what did you turned around?
Yeah. Well,
you were in traffic going down
the traffic
and you
was
turned
real
around.
bad.
I feel
and I
that,
texted
though.
him and told him, and he's like, I'm not going to be there by the time you get there. And I was like, well, I don't want to drive for 3 hours to skate by myself.
So it was going to be okay.
And then I got to drive back too. And I was like, meh.
Yeah, weekends are the worst coming from LA.
Really?
LA,
I wouldn't. I would think the weekends would be. I mean, depends on how
There's a
hot
time
it
that
is
you
and
can't do it.
everything.
Yeah, if you leave early enough, it's fine. But if you're in midday, you're an hour through Pendleton, like guaranteed.
Yeah.
On the weekend.
Every
Oh,
weekend.
yeah.
Weekdays are easier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never go down that way. I'm such in my bubble.
Did you used to go down that way?
Yeah, we would go. I mean, I would go skate, different spots down there. Torrey Pines had this little manual pad down there.
You drove to Torrey Pines for a mani pad.
Yes, a downhill mani pad that was literally probably like 4 inches high.
Wait, and that's
It was so fun though.
And you
Hardcore
skated that, and then
footwork.
you drove back.
Oh yeah, skated it for yeah.
That's amazing.
Hopefully get a clip.
Right.
I probably had like 2 clips there. And I probably went down there like 5-6 times.
So there
It was
was
so fun though.
okay, but sometimes you
Yeah,
went and you
get that.
didn't make anything, and then you drove back.
100%.
Yeah.
That's the story of my career. Let's
Right.
just be honest. Is driving places, not getting anything, and driving home. That's me in a nutshell. Thanks everybody. Have a good day. That's the interview.
But you did make some stuff.
Yeah, you got enough.
Sure.
Yeah.
I got enough to get by.
Yeah.
C student, maybe.
How
maybe
did
D.
you get recognized for your skating skills?
To be honest, I think it was right place, right time. Also, just being around the Santa Monica area during that time, you had the Girl Chocolate team, which before that was a World Blind guys, Tim Gavin, Cost, and Daniel Castillo. Daniel Castillo was one of my first sponsors. Met him, and he was giving me boards.
Right.
And then met Tim Dowling, videographer for Girl, and he just brought me along. I mean, I was skating in Malibu with my friends, and then they ended up just all quitting, getting into drugs.
Doesn't
getting
seem like
into
Malibu is
whatever.
a happening skate.
They had a vert ramp back in the day. It was the only vert ramp I dropped in on.
They might have, but
Yeah.
I just talk about traffic.
It's few and far between.
I don't go, but it doesn't seem like you're going to a lot of street spots or.
No, we had like 2 street spots.
It's just more LA based, right?
2 street spots. By the time
Like
we
you said, driving to a spot,
not getting a
Try-
clip and driving home.
driving back to Malibu.
Yeah.
Why do you talk poorly about your abilities when you're obviously a professional skateboarder? Are you worried that if you don't do that, you'll go the opposite and start talking about how fantastic
Glory
you are?
days.
Listen, if you talk shit about yourself, then nobody else could talk shit about you
Is that-
because you've
but-
already done it.
But you're on the show. Did you think that we were going to have you on to tell you? Did you know how bad of a skateboarder you are?
Yeah.
You know we weren't going to do that. You know that. So, but I can tell you always, like if someone does bring it up, because now I get it, I can relate a little bit because now you're the 9 Club, you're the host. That's not skateboarding. Is it a skateboarding podcast? Yeah, sure. You were a pro, but now you've moved on to be this other thing. And now you're talking to guys. Sometimes it's older guys, but sometimes it's the new guy that's the best. Do you like talk badly about your abilities to make sure when those guys come on, you don't seem cocky or?
No, I think, on my show, honestly, I think cockiness is funny because I have, we have my switch flip manual playing behind me that had become a running joke. And, in skateboarding, you don't go up to people.
Is that, I'm curious about that because you have it playing on loop in the background. And do you feel like, I guess I don't have the backstory, but was that like one of your peak tricks? Is that what it is, or no? It's big. I've skated the courthouse. That's gnarly.
It's like head
it's
high.
Super
it's
high.
forehead high.
Have you tried to skate that thing?
What kind of a no?
You might have been. You might have been there.
Might have been standing there with a doobie
It's been around for a
in my hand
long
or
time,
whatever.
Jason. Your paths have crossed with some street stuff.
I know it, but I didn't go off that.
Okay.
Basically, from the very beginning of the show, episode 1 through whatever, we started talking about the courthouse where I grew up skating. We had all of our friends on the show to begin with. That's where they grew up skating. I grew up skating with Daniel Castillo, Joey Brzezinski. That was the thing. And so very quickly it started to become this joke on the show where we just started talking about the courthouse stage and this switch flip Manny that was monumental at the time. 2003 switch flip man. You know what I mean? It's like I've only done like 2-3 switch flip Mannies in my life. Fast forward throughout the shows, it just kind of became this running joke. And then Mark Johnson was on the show, and that's when he brought the iPad with a 4.5-hour loop on the iPad. And he was like, here's your trick. 4.5-hour loop on this iPad,
sick.
And we're going to put it in the background.
Yeah.
And so ever since Mark Johnson was on the show, boom, that's been it. And since then, Lance Mountain has drew a flip book of the switch flip Manny.
Yeah.
So I scanned that in and put that. So I kind of switch it back and forth.
Wow.
Lance is amazing like that. He'll just come in with that unannounced, right?
Yes.
Like, I got this. I made this for you.
Blown away. Lance Mountain drew my
That's
switch
wild.
flip manual. So for me, you're as a skater, you don't come in and be like, I switch flip. You saw that. Tony.
You haven't seen it? It's right here.
So I think that doing that is funny because nobody does that. It's very frowned upon. So I think it's kind of like a running joke.
Right.
And going back to like, I don't know. I'm proud of my skate career.
Okay.
100%.
Right.
Like I'm stoked on everything that I've done, being a part of Girl and Chocolate, being in the Yeah Right, which is 20 years anniversary, Girls on their 30th anniversary, Chocolate's coming up on 31 years.
Right.
Blessed.
Yeah, it's awesome.
100%.
Jason, we have a new partner, the farmer's dog. I am especially excited because my dog Lola loves it.
I have 5 dogs, and when I prepare their meals, I feel like a chef catering a party of cool dogs.
Lola just licks the entire bowl. Usually she eats her food and she just walks away. Now she's just scrounging for more. She actually looks around it too. Like today, she was trying to get some scraps.
They got it before I came here.
This company was founded by 2 dog lovers who decided to reimagine pet food from the ground up.
Food can truly be the best medicine.
The results of switching your dog's food from kibble to fresh can seem like magic. When a senior dog starts acting like a puppy again, and the pickiest of eaters can't wait for dinner time, you might think some spells were cast. But the farmer's dog doesn't use any sorcery or secret ingredients to make their fresh food, just science.
The farmer's dog makes and delivers fresh, healthy dog food developed by the vets.
Traditional dry and wet food options are highly processed. They can use much lower quality ingredients than they claim, and they're extremely difficult to portion accurately. The farmer's dog doesn't just send fresh, higher quality food. They also send the food pre-portioned specifically for your dog based on their unique nutritional needs. Mine actually says for Lola on it.
A fresh diet has found to have all sorts of benefits, including healthier coat and skin, better breath, easy digestion, and smaller, better poops. A healthier diet isn't just important for humans.
Get 50% off your first box of fresh, healthy food at thefarmersdog.com/hawkwolf.
Plus, you can get free shipping. Just go to thefarmersdog.com/hawkwolf to get 50% off. That's thefarmersdog.com/hawkwolf. Do your dogs a favor.
I just think that looking at my career as a whole, skating with these guys, I'm not a Kenny Anderson. I'm not a Mark Johnson. I'm not a Rick Howard, a Mike Carroll. But you know what? I played a role you know, in that team aspect. You know, I felt like I was like,
but also you've solidified a legacy with the 9 Club too. So there's that in terms of, oh, he did that. You know what I mean? It's like some early band and everyone went off to do all these other projects, but you still remember them cohesively, not just because of that, but because of the greater stuff they did. So
for sure. I mean, just being able to still celebrate skateboarding. Yeah. I mean, you know, I mean, you didn't veer off. You did other projects, but you're still, you never went away from skating.
No.
Which a lot of people do. A lot of people do.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I mean, but you go skate though. You're not, and you have this podcast. So you're not away from it.
Yeah.
Right? And that's how I feel like with the 9 Club. I'm still connected.
Yeah.
I thought I would be way out of skateboarding
you're
by now.
Deeply connected. You guys are doing it day in and day out. It's all skate all day. So
how long have you guys been doing this? What episode are we on?
A couple years, but we started at SiriusXM. As the years progressed, like we did a show together. He went off and became the voice of the channel we were on. But as the years progressed and people would come on on my show as my guest, they're like, oh, so this is your podcast. I'm like, no, this is a satellite radio show. We've been doing this for like 20 years.
Sure.
But that's where we started. And then as we both left Sirius, one voluntarily, one involuntarily, we just were like, we had fun doing that and we like interviewing people and let's just
keep it moving.
Yeah. But you guys are the top of the mountain in terms of what you can do with skateboarding in a podcast. Mm-hmm. You started early, but you did keep progressing it. You know what I mean? Like
you always have to.
Yeah.
Even skating as a human being, you have to progress. You can't just, and I think sometimes just seeing the ups and downs of a business or skating, you're like, okay, we're down. It's time to let's get off.
It makes sense that you guys evolve all the time. You're all skateboarders, so it's like, and you all have a background in doing other things involving skateboarding, but not actual skateboarding, like the editing and filming and all that stuff. I can tell you guys know a lot about that. So you're like, idea of what you're trying to do in the podcast is the same angle as what you were doing in skateboarding is progress.
At the same time, I'm a tech dude. I love tech. I'm the IT guy over there.
So that's handy.
And overwhelming.
I mean, you should see. I mean, you guys been there. All the monitors and this and that.
That's
and
all you.
I love it.
If I love it. Do you love it when one of the things breaks?
No, that's the worst. That's
okay.
That's the story of my life.
Because I run my studio and I don't like it.
Oh, dude. We do a live show.
Does anyone like it?
Dude,
I like the challenge of it.
Your stepson doesn't like it.
I've turned it into a joke because we do a live show every Thursday night at 5 p.m. live, and something goes wrong. All the time. Something goes wrong. And it's just, you have to roll with it. I got to get up. We're live. I got to go in, fix something.
Yeah.
But you got to just roll with it,
Do the other boys have any of those abilities, or are they all leaning on
Roger's the camera guy. He's been obviously Viva La Bam. He's been audio.
He's been on camera forever.
Yeah. So he's the camera guy. So start a podcast with a videographer and you're going to have 6+ cameras involved. But everything else is just, I figured out the audio. I figured out just YouTube was my school and just doing it. And listen, we weren't the first skateboarding podcast. We certainly won't be the last skateboarding podcast. Who was the first one? But I think we just took it and ran with it.
Yeah.
And that's why I want to applaud
you. I think you also have your central, and you have the connections, and a lot of people do podcasts. They love skateboarding, but they can't.
But you guys know how hard it is.
Resources. Oh yeah, for sure.
We've seen so many podcasts come and go, but that's why I applaud you guys too. It's tough. This is a full-time gig.
Slow burn.
It is. You got to love it.
It was like less than a year ago, actually costing us money.
Sure.
Well, that's a good way to look at it.
Yes.
So
we're
not. It doesn't cost me money anymore.
Yeah, that's a.
There you go. We're on our way, half full.
I think for us, we couldn't even get paid for the first 3.5, 4 years.
Okay,
we were just grinding.
So how does that work? Like
getting paid?
No, I don't mean getting paid. I mean how are you able to do that? How are you able to devote that much time to it?
Well, as I said before, I thought I'd kind of be way gone from skating by now. You know what I mean? Another chapter in the life. I'm already, you know what I mean? Like we're winding it down. Let me go find something new to do. And skating just pulls you back in. It's this weird anomaly. Like,
Were you guys still getting paid to be skateboarders when you started the 9 Club?
yeah, I
Yeah.
still get paid. I still get
Okay.
board royalties.
So you
and
had
stuff like that.
time to make the podcast because you were getting paid.
I
skate.
did have another job that I worked with my friend.
What job was that?
It was in the jewelry business. I was working. He owned this like fine jewelry company.
Yeah.
Worked with
What was your
celebrities
part
and stuff.
in that?
Technical shit. I love making stuff. So
Like designing it?
I was running a 3D program designing this
Sick.
stuff.
Yeah.
That's pretty sick.
So does that mean you know how to make jewelry?
I used to. I mean,
Yeah.
I'd have to jump on that program again
Yeah.
and try to
looking for a
figure it
piece?
out.
Yeah, constantly.
I'll make you some.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, so I thought I'd be out of it by now. And I think again, podcasting, we were in the right place, right time. Serial was really big. That Serial podcast came out, and everybody was talking about podcasting, and it was blowing up.
Yeah.
So I definitely think it was right time, right place.
Hey, I got to pause this episode for a second to give you guys a very important discount code. So listen up. Head to tryfume.com and use code HVW to save 10% off when you get the Journey Pack today.
Fume is not a vape. It's a non-electronic device designed to transform your negative habits.
Instead of pods filled with potentially harmful chemicals, Fume uses cores infused with plants like peppermint and cinnamon for delicious natural flavors.
And it's really fun to play with. Your fingers will always have something to do.
The easiest way to stop a bad habit is to switch to a positive one, and Fume is designed perfectly to do just that. They have thousands of 5-star reviews from people just like you who've successfully switched when other solutions just didn't work.
Head to tryfume.com and use the code HVW to save 10% off when you get your Journey Pack today. The Journey Pack comes with 3 unique flavors and the new version 2 Fume to help kickstart your positive habits.
That's tryfum.com and use code HVW to save an additional 10% off on your order today. HV Dubs.
Oh, man.
That's us.
I remember hearing you guys, and I was already in radio doing my own show, and I'd moved up to LA. And I at the time, unlike you, I was pretty sure I was the greatest radio person to ever talk into a microphone, and I didn't have a problem telling people about it. But I remember hearing your show and going, "Oh wow, yeah, a show about
Deep dive.
skateboarding, like duh." But then I heard more of you specifically, and I could tell that you were not just a skateboarder that like, let's do a podcast, like. You had a plan, you know, and you were trying very hard to make it work. And I was like, wow, check that out. And then I went to a skate shop once to buy a skateboard for my son. And I bought a Riley board, and I thought it was his.
No.
Because it was a ripoff. Like Riley was ripping him off on a graphic. And old man Witherby just was like, yeah, I'll take that one, trying to represent my buddy.
Yeah.
And then I get it home and it says Riley on it. I'm like, God, you're stupid. But it was playing the 9 Club in the skate shop. And I was like, yeah, man, because that's probably what every skate shop would play in the background.
We hear that a lot.
Yeah.
We get it a lot.
You're helping people skate. Like, you know, people get hurt. People want to, you can't skate all day. Like when you go home, you listen to that or you watch it. It like gives you more energy to want to go skate the next day. Like,
I'm going to tell you this. Like, I think one of the biggest perks of doing the 9 Club is actually receiving the mail or DMs from people that are like, hey, I'm 55 years old.
Yeah.
I just bought my board again.
Yeah.
I have a kid. I'm going out skating with them.
Yeah, we get that.
I'm like, just from, or even I've gotten like, hey, I just had brain surgery and your show has like gotten me through this terrible time. Or, hey, I'm going through depression or whatever. I'm like, damn. Just talking about skateboarding is getting people through this or changing. I'm like, wow, that's powerful, dude.
Yeah, because you care about it. All you guys really care about it. And it's like being in the room with people that have, you know, not dabbled, they've been at the highest level, whether you want to admit it or not. And what do they talk about when they're broing down talking about skateboarding? Like people learn the lingo, the tricks, like, because, you know, like it's a secret world, you know, like to know everything. And if you listen to your show, that is a fast ticket
And I think the coolest part on that point too is like we get a lot of parents too are like, "Hey, I watch your show, so now I can relate to my kid."
Well,
I'm learning a lot about
wow.
skating.
There's also
Yeah.
there's a historical aspect that you, by default, that you guys are offering, and it's really educational for anyone that's just getting into it or just didn't know the history of all this stuff.
I mean, imagine your parents back in the day. They don't know anything about skateboarding. There's no way that they can even find out about skateboarding unless they were there,
Yeah.
like immersed in it.
Right.
So now these parents have these outlets where they can be like, "Let me learn about this thing that my kid's into."
yeah.
My parents would never. Where are they going to learn about skateboarding when I'm going? You know what I mean? Like later, I'm going out skating.
Yeah.
What do you? Okay.
Yeah,
Go
trying to
ahead. I
tell
don't-
them.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Trying to tell them when you get home about some trick that you learned back when you were a kid was pretty pointless.
Sure.
It'd be like I'd get home and be like, "Hey guys, do you want to hear me speak Japanese?"
You know what's funny is I couldn't. I used to. Stacy used to call me every week, like right when I first started skating for Powell,
Yeah.
and I would tell him tricks that I learned. I'm talking to Stacy Peralta, and he couldn't understand what I was talking about.
Right.
So good luck with your parents.
Exactly. But now they have the ability to learn.
They
And
do.
I think that's
yes,
the coolest
yes.
thing too, is when we get
Yeah.
those.
The video game probably helped too.
I don't know about that.
Just a little bit.
you see
Hey,
when I
I
went-
watched this. Are you about to tell me about the video game movie that you have? I watched that last night. I'm like swinging through like
Boom Boom
shows.
Sabotage. It's not a video game.
No,
but-
it's a documentary about your video game.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the animated one, the Boom Boom
Nah,
Sabotage.
nah. I watched some I didn't know you had a documentary
Oh,
about.
pretending I'm a Superman. Is that what it is?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
Man,
yeah,
I love it. It's just like, oh wait, yeah, that other show.
Right
that-
under that.
That
Yeah.
one isn't as funny. That one is helpful. And
Yeah, it's
informative.
really
Yeah.
good.
Yes.
Sorry.
That's
Agreed.
funny.
Have you seen it?
I have not.
Skateboard game did a lot.
I've heard.
We're
this
saying the
before.
nine
Oh,
club.
well,
I-
I played it at their studio.
Okay.
I played against people at their studio.
That's a good idea. If
That
you're
was
going to have
fun.
him on,
That was pretty fun, yeah.
That was good.
Yeah.
And,
Podcast,
and
see,
if
they're
you're going to
thinking.
play your own game, you better be okay at it.
Did you win?
I did.
Good.
He whooped my ass.
Oh.
I couldn't. I don't remember. You know what's funny is like
But he was the first boss.
Yeah, I had
Okay.
to. He had to get through me.
Yeah.
Right.
But
Jesus Christ was the
easy. He eyes closed. But I never. I was too involved in skating to want to play those video games.
That,
Like
sure,
I
yeah, that makes
feel like
sense.
I was like, I'm out there skating all day.
You were
and
not the
I-
demographic.
Were
Well,
you
I
ever
gotta-
a gamer though?
I liked video games. Maybe
But you
later.
never. Did you ever do like? I played way too long, and I probably don't even want to tell anybody how long I played. Like that.
I'm kind of like that more now than I was back.
You play
then.
video games now?
Oh, yeah, I love video games.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I remember when the game came out, it
Mhm.
was. I remember before it came out, he had a version of it in the bus when we were on tour, and I liked motocross games, but that's about as far as it goes. I was never like, I'm up until 4 a.m. just doing laps or whatever that is. But when I started playing that, I was like, man, this thing is sick. But I don't have. It's like gambling. I don't have the thing where, like, if I'm hungry, I'm leaving. You know what I mean? Like I watch my son sometimes, and I'm like, "You can't go.
Oh, yeah.
You can't move. Like this thing has you, dude."
Yeah.
Like he finally got out of it, but there was a time there where it was, I didn't. He was too young to break down to him. That I'm like, you don't know what people that are on crack
You're
are
addicted.
like.
You are
Yeah,
addicted.
yeah.
You're like
Yes.
that,
Yeah.
but with the game, like, because he
Sure.
would be snappy at me. Like, I'd be like, "Hey, man, seriously, get in here," and he'd be like, "I don't have," and I'd be like, "Excuse, did you just hear what you just said?" And it's like he blacked out,
Right.
because he's on crack.
I'm sure you've heard that a lot.
I remember in high school, they, like health ed, and they were talking about addiction and all the signs of addiction. And I was reading it, and I do remember having this epiphany, going, yeah. Oh, I'm addicted to skateboarding.
Yeah, sweet.
I get it. Okay.
Totally.
Cool. Fall is here and holiday season is right around the corner. Don't let that stop you from sticking to your habits and being the best version of yourself. Caldera Lab is here to help.
These guys are the best in the skincare game and will help you keep your face looking pretty no matter what your schedule is. What's a better gift than skincare?
Join the other 100,000 men who trust Caldera Lab. Caldera Lab creates high-performance men's skincare products, and the regimen leads off their product lineup, a twice-a-day routine to transform your skin. It includes 3 products: the Clean Slate to start and end your day, the Base Layer, your daily moisturizer, and The Good, a night serum to make your skin look tighter and smoother.
Caldera Lab's Icon Eye Serum addresses the 3 most common skin concerns around the eye. Sometimes you have concerns, and these are the 3 most concerning things around the eye. Fine lines, dark circles, and puffiness, which I never get, ever. That's why I'm wearing sunglasses right now.
We have an exclusive deal. Use Hawk Wolf at calderalab.com and you'll get 20% off right now.
That's 20% off with the code HawkWolf at calderalab.com to make unforgettable first impressions with the best gift this holiday season.
Again, 20% off at calderalab.com, and the promo code is
HawkWolf.
Let me ask you a question though. Were you ever getting bored of it, or like, hey, let me take a break from this? Like, this is just.
Only when the competition there was just too much pressure.
That's when you
It
actually
was
thought,
too overwhelming. But I didn't
still
quit
skating.
I just
Right.
quit competing. I think there was a time, maybe in the sort of mid 80s, when I felt like there was so much riding against me in terms of the narrative and the cool guys and everyone's just like, I was the circus freak and that got to be so discouraging that I didn't quit altogether, but I stopped skating so often because I would go to Del Mar and it would just be like, it was a peanut gallery. You know what I mean? It wasn't even like I had homies. It was just more like, ugh. So then I went through a thing where I sort of restructured my skating and I started learning a bunch of lip tricks and stuff. And that brought me out of it.
It's so bizarre. Imagine going what you went through with social media.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean all of that stuff that happened back then hardened me for the modern era of social media because it was like.
But imagine you're a kid going through all that's what some of these kids are going through right now.
Oh, it's so tricky.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Think about all those people that were hating on you for being a circus clown. And now they need to get these circus clown nuts.
Can I use that for the name of my video that's coming out?
Oh, there you go. Circus clown
Get
nuts.
these circus nuts.
Go for it. Then you got to have a video of you doing this on the front of it.
But it's interesting. I love talking to skaters about stuff. And that's why I think our show is successful, because I'm actually genuinely interested.
Yeah.
Because I don't think I wasn't a skate nerd growing up. I was focused on what was going on around me, which was, blind world, girl chocolate. Yeah, I would see East Coast videos, I would see other stuff, but I was really focused on so my learning, all this stuff I'm learning it on real time on the show. And I'm like, my skate knowledge from 7 years ago is way surpassed any, it's
but I think
incredible now.
Watching you learn that in real time is helpful to the audience because they identify with it.
Sure.
And you're not some oracle that's like, well, yeah, that was in 1985, not, this.
Yeah.
And we get a little bit like that. but definitely to see you discover it and the audience is right there along with you.
Well, you know what's funny too is so I never really used to do research. I always wanted to do it I wanted to hear it in real time. But you always want to evolve and get better. So now I do a ton of research. We have my friend JC. He does a lot of research too. But I get in there and I'm really. But it's funny. The research I do is I just want key points. I don't want to read an interview or listen to an interview of a person because if Tony did the 900. Cool. I don't want to know every detail about that in an interview that I read or heard. I just want to know that you did that. And then so I have something to ask you now and talk about and bring up a point and then know a little bit about it, but I want to hear it from that guest.
I used to watch interviews of celebrities that I was going to interview. And then a couple of times that celebrity said the exact same thing that I saw in the interview, and it made me not like them instantly.
But it's disappointing, right?
Because I was like, wait, you tell everybody this story
That's
like
tricky, though. Being on the other side of that's tricky. If you're doing a lot of interviews and you're getting asked the same questions, it's hard to make your story sound fresh.
So imagine if you did that,
but
only heard the question.
In the defense of someone who probably has repeated things.
Like on the show,
even on this show.
Yeah.
But how did you discover or find that you're good at interviewing people? Because that
Honestly,
is not an easy thing.
I think it's just from skateboarding. I was a shy kid growing up.
Yeah.
I just kept to myself. I mean, I had friends, but I was very shy. And I think skateboarding opened that up because in skateboarding, especially once you get in with a team and all that stuff, like once I was in like with Chocolate, you'd have to go on tours, you'd have to go autograph signings, you had
You had to get out of your
forced
shell.
to people.
Oh,
you
yeah.
were forced to talk to
absolutely.
people.
I'd learned that through those years. I did not want to talk to people. And then I just like...
And you don't, but you kind of turn it on,
better.
right? And you kind of just like, okay, let me start to, and then you kind of get used to talking. And I think that's what really did it for me was like just traveling and talking.
But that's a big leap to say I'm good at talking to. I'm good at really interviewing people and getting their story.
Yeah, but I don't know was I good in the first episode, second episode? Like when did that?
Yeah.
It took a while.
Yeah.
Like if I go back and watch, I cannot. If you told me to go watch the 1 through 10, I would be like, no.
Can you imagine seeing
way.
our first Sirius XM shows?
Well,
we
I've
had
always-
Little Wayne on the
I've
show,
al-
episode 25. We didn't know what the hell I was doing.
Right.
Little Wayne's coming in.
Yeah.
Was that a big boost for you guys?
It was cool. I didn't know he was talking about his new music, which I flew right over my head, and
Yeah.
it got picked up by all the big hip hop
Okay.
play, and I was
Yeah.
like, oh, he was talking about that. I didn't even
Like
know.
a reveal on your show?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
for
sick.
sure.
Yeah.
But again, I didn't know what I was doing. You know, we're just kind of like,
He loves skateboarding though, doesn't he?
it's crazy.
I know.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. I can see it in
They
his
were
face.
they were trying to his people were trying to get him to leave here, and he kept wanting to show us clips.
Yeah. It's amazing.
I know.
mean, you have a guy he's that famous, but he walks into, I mean, you know, ours is like an apartment, right? So you walk in and it's a skate house. And he was just like, wow, this
Yes,
is
he would have
cool.
been so pumped.
He
'cause-
was psyched.
Yeah.
He was psyched. And we were
really
like,
cool.
damn, okay.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Skateboarding's a crazy thing.
What has been? I mean, we all know the general answer to this, but when you're interviewing people, what has been the most common thread to skaters from your perspective?
Most common thread? That's interesting.
Because they come from all walks of life. They come from all different
I think
backgrounds.
it's
and
the common thread is just the passion and the willpower to make it happen. I always refer back to this one episode with Vincent Malou. He grew up in a place with no concrete.
Mhm.
He had dirt everywhere. Like he had to go make it happen for him to like fall in love with skating, and he did that. And I think a lot of us skaters would do the same thing.
Mhm.
And I think that's kind of what it is. It's like the passion and the fire to like make it happen no matter what. Oh, I got to take the bus. I got to do this. I got to do that. I got to go steal wood from a place
Yeah.
to go build a quarter pipe. I heard that story a lot, you know?
Yeah.
So I think that's what it is all about, right?
I mean, those days,
Fire.
I don't want to steal stuff, but taking some wood with your friends to build a ramp it's not even a crime.
it's a rite of passage.
Yeah.
Sure. Right. But I hear that a lot. Oh,
But it was
no.
fun.
Yeah.
It was fun.
That was not. I don't remember going.
I remember
"Oh."
they used to mark the lumber. They would mark it like with special paint sometimes, so you'd see the edge, and then you'd have to sand that off if you built a ramp that was anywhere near the construction site.
They
That's
know.
that's your ramp
Yeah.
hack for the day.
But it's interesting. I love talking to skaters and stuff. We've kind of evolved the show too. It kind of used to be like a timeline based thing. I used to kind of want to know like, what was your first board? What was this? And now I'm just like, I don't need to know what somebody's first board is because maybe some of these kids are newer and like, oh, Alien Workshop. Oh, cool. Like whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe I want to know what Tony Hawk's first board is, but
Yeah.
I don't need to know.
Yeah.
So now we're kind of more getting to like the nuts and bolts of like, you know, goals, accomplishments, things that people really want to know about,
Yeah.
you know? I think what's awesome too, and Tony, you actually helped kick this off on our show, and Andrew Reynolds as well. And it's not only about talking about money, it's just about being open and honest and kind of even vulnerable even. Like that makes the best guests too. It's like, I asked Andrew Reynolds, I asked you, I think it was like you first. I was like, how much money do you make off Tony Hawk game? And you answered it.
That clip keeps coming around.
It is, he's rolling his eyes,
Dude.
But
Oh man.
But
Whoops.
like that, is amazing though, because
Yeah,
that
yeah.
opens it up for the interviewer.
Yeah.
You're like, wow, this guy. Okay, let's talk about some shit right now. You know?
No,
Andrew
it's cool.
Reynolds
I
did
mean,
the same
that's
thing.
we hope to get viral moments on this show the same way, and we have a few times.
Sure.
But I get it, and what better place to share that, you know, in all reality or in full transparency,
Right.
than a skate show. So I you know, of course I'm gonna tell you guys the story.
And I think a lot of people feel the same way. It's like, I don't know what it is, but people always, oh, you make us so comfortable. We can just talk and everything. And I'm like, cool, that's awesome, man. The more people are open, the better.
Hey,
Yeah, but if you grew up skating, you'd be more inspired to share details with you guys than some rando.
hey, when you were all cool on chocolate and stuff, did you like East Coast skate? Like, did you be like, did you like people that did bonelesses and stuff? Like,
I mean, boneless was a little bit before me.
Yeah, that's not
Boneless.
no, but people started when
You mean
in
they're
your
coming
era,
back around?
like X Games, when people did kickflip indies on the street course. How did you feel about those guys?
I wasn't watching X Games.
Were you a hater?
Yes, I think everybody is.
Because if you're on Girl, you're like in chocolate and all that. You guys are the coolest, and you said that you hung out. Sounds like you hung out like pretty strictly in that zone.
Yeah.
So every now and then you'd see a video of someone from not your zone. Would you be one of those guys where you would all start laughing at somebody's technique? Right.
Weren't we all? I mean, there were
right.
people we liked and people we didn't like.
Right. So I'm only asking this
For sure.
for the next part is, are you like that now?
No, I think as you get older,
Because you don't seem like that now.
you still hate under the breath. You
Right.
know, you
But
still
not
kind of
less
have
malicious, more maybe like not trying to hurt the guy's feelings, but
but
wow, that was
publicly no, because here's the thing: is like
ugly. Behind his back is better.
Well, yes,
right.
But here's the thing: I know what it's like to be on the ground filming a video part. I know what it's like to put all that time and effort into it. I know what they're going through. Right.
So that entitles you to.
If something's not good, we're not going to just talk about it,
Right.
because I just think that's just a disservice to.
Right. It's just
whatever's
in fun
going
though.
on.
I think I did it to you when I saw you at the mega ramp. You came up and said something to me about what's going on the mega ramp, and
Yeah. Like I was the second person to do it.
No, it wasn't about that. I'm not sure I told everybody that, but it was about somebody who was skating, and I was like, "Yeah, man, that you know."
Yeah, I remember that.
Finger
Yeah.
flips.
Yeah.
Come on.
But I think we all do that. Skating is so subjective.
Right.
We
But I
like
don't-
what we like. We
that's
don't
what I
like
was
what we
trying to-
don't like.
I like that guy.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Like, he's a cool guy, and I respect what he's doing.
100%.
Because I couldn't do that.
100%.
But I can't. You got to be joking me.
Yeah. But I think also,
With the finger flips.
You can't be serious.
I think also as you get older too, you just kind of like appreciate everything.
Yeah.
But now there's so much skating and so much content out there that like, I think that it is oversaturated, and I think that there's too much filler in parts too. There's just like, you don't put in every clip that you got to make a part. Give me the good stuff. Get me excited to watch
I
your
actually
part.
I was thinking about that on the way here. 'Cause
Right?
I'm working on what will be my last video part, and I actually am like obsessing on counting how many tricks I have on video and what's going to happen, and also thinking about the excessive video parts that people just feels more self-absorbed. It's like, I appreciate what you're doing, but I don't need to see 6 minutes of it.
100%.
Yeah.
Right? You give me 2 or 3 minutes of the best of the best. It's
Yeah.
going to be more memorable
Agreed.
than like 6 minutes. And hit me over the head to start off the part. Tony,
Yeah.
get your 1080, you know, first 1080 ever, Tony Hawk. And then,
This guy.
and then second, and then that's your second to best trick. And then the best trick is the last trick,
Right.
you know? But like, get me
I'm
excited to
not
watch.
conferring with you on this video.
No, we're building you a ramp for sure. It's in the middle of in Mexico. And
I'm boring. Yeah.
But I don't know. I just think that, listen, less is more. Let's filter it down, ladies and gentlemen.
You're
and
inspiring
let's
me
get
to make
the,
a video.
Thank you.
I think I'm going to do my last video part. Yeah.
Let's
Just
do
to
it.
show
I'll make
him
my
up.
last video part too.
Yeah,
It'll
let's
just
do
be
it.
one post on
TikTok,
Instagram.
TikTok, Clarice.
Might be one
Let's
trick.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I might not make it.
Oh, I'm
That's my part. Bail.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
You were
I'm
supposed to
with
come down and do a Cholito.
Yeah,
last week.
I know.
What's
He-
that?
he
What's
made
a
a trick
Cholito?
up.
Oh, you made a.
I've been
Well,
trying
I mean,
to.
he did a long time ago.
really.
Do you want to reveal what is a Chelito?
It's stupid. It's not. When
It's
I
a
made
fast
it,
plant tail block. It's sick.
we
Fast
always-
plant tail tap.
Okay.
Do you know what a tail tap is? Like a tail
let's
block.
have to-
When you're like up like that.
Mhm.
Not a body jar. Body jar is like flat tail.
You
You've
know,
done those too,
do
though,
you-
right?
do you
Fast
know?
plant body
I don't
jar?
speak that language.
I'm the best at that.
Yeah, you've done that. I know. I've seen you do that.
The best. See, I can still do it.
So he did a fast plant to tail block,
Yeah.
and that's the Chelito.
Yeah. We got the. I watched the commercial.
That's you know what? That's going to be his switch flip.
There you go.
We just
There
keep
you go.
bringing up on the
Let's
show.
put an iPad. I'll bring an iPad
Let's
next time
go.
I come.
We need one on video. He
Yeah.
doesn't have one on video.
Oh, you gotta get.
Yeah.
That's
your
why
last-
That's what
he
I'm-
was coming down this last weekend to skate with me and get
I
one on
haven't
video.
skated for over a month, and I was gonna go down there and do this trick that I haven't done for 35 years.
I was so hyped.
I'm like, I'm gonna make it. It's fast play tail time.
But
But
Anybody
you turned
can.
around
right.
because there was traffic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was pissed too
Right.
because I was like in traffic and. I don't know. I'm having a crappy time lately. Whatever. If it was just a little bit closer, man. It's like that last hour. I'm like, oh.
Yeah. That's how I feel driving here.
Yeah, but
Okay.
you do it all the time.
Yeah.
Which is that's a drive.
I left my house at 6:30 this morning.
Wow.
If I can describe you bastards. Come on.
Do you
tell
see
your
how far we're
friends.
going here?
Jesus.
I'm driving a lot. Wham.
I think it's interesting if I could touch on your guys' show really
Yes.
quickly.
Well,
Hello?
answer it.
Never
is
mind.
it?
Never mind.
Speak
I have better things to do.
Oh, damn it.
Oh, come on. Got to put out a fire.
That's a big deal for the 9 Club right there, man. It's millions right there
Obviously,
that I turned on.
you know. Thanks for your time.
No worries.
Yeah.
No worries. Glad I can support this
Yeah.
show, man.
Yeah.
Um,
We're going to be huge now.
the one thing that it's interesting about your show is because, and I've noticed this too, with our show, we started off, it's skateboarding. It's core. It is what it is. I know our lane, but you've kind of started off with this open door of like, you could have Howie Mandel on, you could have this person on, you could have core skateboarders on, and it's very acceptable.
That was just me taking advantage of my contact list.
It's
No,
also,
you know what I
100%.
mean?
But if I took advantage of
sure.
that, if we had Howie Mandel on our show,
Would you though?
no, because I
I
think
turn.
everybody would be a little disappointed. And like,
Yeah.
why
Well,
is
I feel
Howie
like
But
Mandel?
I guess I understand that, and we definitely see those comments fly by. But also,
But
we had a genuine, with Howie or whoever else,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
we have genuine connections and really great conversation with them that we relate our crafts, and that's the important part.
And I'm a radio host for over 20 years in radio where I talk to all kinds of people.
Mhm.
And I'm the co-host. So I'll talk to anybody.
Yeah.
Just like I used to. And it can be a skateboard, like, is he in charge? Sure. But you can't not have, I'm talking to
if I'm
Bert
in charge.
Kreischer if Bert Kreischer comes on, because I know Bert. And
Right.
everybody in the world knows Bert.
Dude.
He's a fun guy. You don't have to skate. He's the worst skateboarder in the world, the most disrespectful skateboarder.
But there is a
in the
common
world.
thread of skateboarding there because he
He
used to
loves
do it.
skate shops.
and he loves
He's
it.
bought several boards.
You want to talk about someone who brags about their skill set or lack
I love
of
that. But that's his dude. I walked right past him at the X Games. He was in the crowd.
and
I was
how
filming
pumped
some
was he?
stuff. I
He
didn't
loved
even
being
notice
there.
he was there.
Yeah.
I walked right past him.
Did you know that one time he bought a skateboard that has the square wheels so the board
Oh, you
stays
could
still,
oh my
and he would bring it
God.
around and practice ollies?
But see,
Bert
that's somebody
Kreischer.
that we could have
Kook
on our
of the
show.
day.
I think we could have a Bert Kreischer on the show.
Sure.
We could have there's certain
Yeah.
people that are like okay for
But,
our show.
but okay, if Bert went to your show, I
Sure.
guess that's where I'm getting at is would you just talk about his skate experience?
no,
or
it
his
would be
skate? You would
the
just-
wall and
thing.
stuff that
Okay.
I'm interested in too.
Yeah.
Right? It would be
Right.
this is, you
That's
know,
where we live.
for sure. But I think that you opened the door early for that. That's why I'm saying I think it's when I look at your show, I'm like, oh, they had Howie Mandel on. Oh, they had this person on. Like, I think that's fine. And plus the person that you could have. You know what I mean? I think
Yeah.
we know our lane and we stay in that lane.
Right.
Like we know our business model. You know
I
what
don't
mean?
think it would be crazy for you guys to branch out. I know that there's obviously haters out there, but
I think we'd have to
in this
rebrand it. I
world-
think we'd have to do something different.
yeah, it's like if you no longer spoke to skateboarders, okay, different.
Yeah.
But you're not going to do that.
But I think skaters that enjoy our show, especially like our core audience,
Yeah.
like they're looking forward to who that Monday guest is.
Yeah.
You know, they're looking forward to that.
What about industry guests when you have people on that are like, running a part of the industry?
Those
how
are
do they do?
my favorite episodes.
But how does that do with the...
Great. People,
Yeah,
they don't do as well as like a skater that's well known.
Okay.
But those are the episodes that I wish got like 200,000 views because they're the most fascinating.
I've watched...
You get a photographer,
I like
a
those.
filmer on there.
Yeah. I like
So
the Bud
good.
Boyle one where I know Bud. I've known him since I was a little kid. I didn't know that he'd worked in the skateboard industry to the very top of, like, because I just knew him as
He was running
Hugh
Dwindle
Bud
for the
Boyle,
longest
guy
time.
that did like some,
Yeah.
he skated vert sick.
Yeah.
That's it.
I
And
remember
then
you telling me that.
yeah, and
Yeah.
I was like, this is a really eye-opening interview. I can't believe I didn't know all that.
But I think that's important.
Yeah.
right? I think it's important for skaters out there to know who's behind these companies and who's running this stuff, or is it a
Agreed.
suit or is it an
Agreed.
actual skateboarder?
Yep.
You know, it's like I always go back to like the Olympics, right? Like I don't know who's behind all this. I don't know who's running this stuff. Like there's no transparency there. Like I think I don't who are these people? You know, are they putting together a team? Like what's going on there?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that in the skateboarding industry, it's just important for people to know, like, Bod Boyle is a gnarly skateboarder.
Yeah.
And he was running one of the biggest companies, Dwindle,
Yep.
and now Sidewalk Distribution. But, like, people need to know that,
Yep.
you know? Maybe there are some higher ups that are higher up than him
Yeah.
that maybe are a suit. But he's got the skater's best interest in mind.
Right.
I think it's huge.
Yeah, I agree. I thought it was great because it's good to see somebody that they paid their dues and then they're getting another pat on the back by by today's skateboarding for doing a great job on our behalf.
Sure.
You know?
Sure. I just think it's important.
What's been some of the best reveals or the most revealing interviews?
When I said I was gay, it was probably a bit of a shocker, right?
Wait,
Well-
you're gay?
Sorry, dude.
Well,
No.
you had said if you don't mind, you had said that was the first time you come out to like a skateboarding audience.
Oh yeah, for
right?
sure. Yep.
So that was like big for you.
Yep.
But not for him.
No, I don't. I think, but you know what I mean, though. I think
His
Yeah.
face said it all. What can I
Yeah.
say?
Yeah. No,
I'm just observing.
I tried.
yeah. I don't know where to go from there.
Yeah. It's okay.
I don't know, like someone came in and you maybe didn't know a whole lot about them, and then all of a sudden you were blown away by their past or their.
I think everybody's journey in skateboarding is interesting because we all end up in the same place, but everybody's path is so different. From a Vincent Malou growing up with no concrete to skate to like, you know, a Tony Hawk to a Lil Wayne, you know, to an Andrew Reynolds, you know. And I think that's what's rad about our show too, is like we can have on you know, a great filmer, photographer, industry guy. And then the next episode, we could have Andrew Reynolds. Then the next episode, we could have somebody completely opposite of the spectrum of skateboarding, you know, and we can kind of take people on this ride of just all facets of skateboarding, you know.
Do you ever have people on there that aren't very good at speaking English?
Like as their native language?
Yeah.
Everybody can come. There's a few people that I'm like, come on the show. And they're like, no, my English isn't
Right.
that good.
Right, 'cause
And
I
I'm
would-
like,
Be tough, you know, do
Yeah.
an hour interview with someone that can
I don't
barely
know.
tell you what they're thinking
yeah, I'd like Yuto. I'd love to have Yuto on the show, but give him a couple more years.
to learn better English.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Maybe. I'm just
Yeah, yeah.
assuming. I don't know him personally, but
I
I,
think
know
his
that
English is
he's-
pretty good now.
It's good, right?
Yeah.
It's better than it was a year ago.
That's how I always wanted to get Felipe on here, but you would have to translate it.
I always ask people, and they're like, "No, my English," and I'm like, "Dude, you speak perfectly. You just don't want to come on." you
No,
know?
Felipe has like 3 phrases he can say. That's about it.
Oh, that's
So-
it.
Yeah, he's working on it, but
Sick
it wouldn't-
interview.
It wouldn't work.
Let me ask you a question. Is it hard for you? I mean, listen, I think Tony Hawk calls, you answer the phone to get a guest on here, but is it hard for you guys to kind of book? Skating's a whole interesting thing, and it's hard for us sometimes to keep the calendar booked.
We cast a wide net
Yeah.
Let's put it that way. And these guys are behind that. So
Right.
we have a lot of asks out there.
Mm.
Is it hard? No, I mean, we definitely, and I get it. Like, we're not their priority. So we get a lot of people booking stuff and like, I can't make it.
Yeah, but we get
Tina Carvey. Oh,
yeah. Oh, yeah.
and Kid Cudi. He's still pending. All right.
Pending. But it's funny
Well,
because
Kid Cudi, that one's for you.
we
Did you
get
teach him to go? Did you help him skate?
Yeah.
there you
I
go.
devoted a few weekends to
Oh.
teach him how to skate, and then he was going to
Mr.
do this,
Cudi,
and he
come
didn't do
on.
it.
Cuddy, bro.
Anyway,
we get people that I think for one thing, I think for guests, I think timing's everything. Some people maybe aren't ready, some people whatever, but we get the people who we really want on the show. We've asked them, they're like, I don't know if I'm ready, this and that, and then they're on this show, and I'm like, God damn it, Tony Hawk calls, you got to answer the phone, man.
Wait, somebody said they don't know.
Okay, hold on. And in my defense, I didn't know that. Obviously, the people that I contacted hadn't done your show.
No, it's fine. I just think it's funny.
But also, like, yes, I'm obviously very good friends with Rodney.
Yes.
And I knew Andrew all growing up.
Eric Costin,
helped to
Atiba, like,
oh, those guys haven't done it.
yeah.
Yeah, but he's
damn.
like, they're like bud.
And this
buddies.
isn't
It really is because I have such a deep connection with those guys.
100%.
Like they hang.
I
and have done
traveled,
for
like,
decades.
We're
Atiba was on one of the first Birdhouse tours.
dude. But that's what I'm saying. Atiba loves you. Like
Yeah.
it's just to me, it's humorous. I'm not saying that as a dig or anything. Like I think it's
Well,
funny.
but
I'm
also
like,
might be that it also might be faced with the prospect of 9 Club. They're thinking like, oh, I'm going to be on there for 3 hours.
I would say 2 hours is a
Yeah.
good. We could pull a lot of information out in 2 hours.
Wait,
but
do you think that it might a different would be if I go on your show, it's an hour. If I go on the 9 Club, it might be 3 hours. So
Maybe, but also I think there's just a familiarity that they know they're not going to get out of their comfort zone, or I'm not going to ask it. It's just
Right.
we're just going to reminisce.
Sure.
That's pretty
Skateboarders
much it.
do-
Which what we did when Atiba was here, Costume was
Right,
here,
right.
and Rodney. Rodney and I are just talking about when we were kids.
And I do think that you're right on that. I think that they think that, oh, we got to talk about certain things and this and that and whatever, but it's all up to them at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But it's just, I think it's just
And,
funny. I'm
I mean,
oh man.
hey, Lance is the trickiest.
Lance Bowden.
Yeah,
Yeah. And he loves
because
Tony.
he's worried that it's going to be a difficult line of questioning. And like, Lance,
No, but it was just skating.
Dude, a lot of skateboarders have that. Out of anybody I've ever spoken to in the world of interviewing, skateboarders are the more like, dude, I don't want to talk about this or that. And I'm like, dude, I wasn't going to. Like,
Yeah.
like I know that I say like things about myself that most people probably wouldn't say, but I don't do it to you. Like I've never said, "Come on, man! I told everybody I blew a guy. You need to tell me." Like I don't. I don't do that. I know it's my road, and your one. You might be uncomfortable. That's fine.
That was the conversation I had with Paul Rubens. He was coming on here.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And
He didn't want to talk about certain things.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
And also I didn't know he was sick. And he kind of hinted that he was having some health problems, but he was going to come on here, but he didn't want to be on video. And to get Pee Wee Herman on here, no
Right.
problem. We'll do it just audio. It's fine with me,
Sure,
or maybe animated again.
Yeah.
Ooh.
But he had to go to the hospital like the day before, right? We were going to
wow.
record. I think that's when things took a turn for him.
Okay.
But I was thankful that he even agreed because, he's very private and obviously has been through a lot in terms of public flogging.
Sure.
And so I was thankful that he knew that that's not what we're about. Like, we're just fans.
And I think at the end of the day too, it's like we're skaters, not Paul Rubens, but I mean just people who are coming on our show or maybe have reservations of it. I'm like, we're skaters. We're of the same ilk. We're not trying to like
the outsiders.
We're not trying to like
But
bamboozle you into
But at the
this.
same time, you understand where they're coming from, right? Because you're
Totally.
a skateboarder, and there's a weird. I mean, I didn't go to school, but I assume like a college thing. Like if you get something bad happens, it stays with you for the rest of your career. So don't put me in that position where you could somehow make me not look cool to some of my peers or something like that. Like
It's just for a conversation to have before the show.
Yeah, Danny
That's-
wouldn't come on. He'll go on your show, but he won't go on my show because he doesn't trust me. But I'm like, dude, how long have I known you? Like,
Right.
If I'm still talking to you now, I'm pretty sure you can trust me, you know? But
It's
he's
interesting.
like, I don't want
I
to
mean,
do it.
I found myself, I don't get nervous with our podcast. I don't get nervous. You know what I mean? I came on your show. I wasn't, but I found myself last night being like, well, what the hell are we going to talk about? You know?
Well, but you're not
that,
used to being the guest.
Right. But we have guests coming on our show going like, I don't know what we're going to talk about. What did this and that? And I found myself last night like, what the hell are we going to talk about? You know? And it was the same
talking
thing
about
that like
the mani pad in Torrey Pines.
Yeah, respect.
4 inches.
I got a couple of mani tricks
Yeah.
documented. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, for the new part, let's save it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
A long time ago, I did it.
With the
some stuff.
retrospective part, we need that.
Yeah. Yeah. There's no way I could recreate that because that was when I was still athletical. And even when, and when I, and when
athletical back
when I
then.
did it, I remember I made it
It's
and
athletic,
everybody
right?
there went,
It's not athletical. Okay.
wait, I said the wrong word?
I think it's just athletic. Back when I was athletic.
We understood.
Wait,
what you meant.
athletical's not a word? It is now. I'm starting a skateboard company called Athletical, and I'm going to make a video part for it, and it's going to have a mani trick and the Chelito, and then I'm out.
That's it.
Get my
Just after dark, after Black Hammers.
We need to find a 5-second song for that.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Let's go.
yeah. No, there's a 7-second song I think that might do it.
That would work.
Yeah.
Are you still skating a lot?
Not as much as I would like to. We go skate the slappy curbs down in Santa Monica,
Sick.
and I love
The Nodus curbs?
Yeah, and it's so funny, man. I don't fan out on anybody, but when I see Nodus walk by down there, I'm like, "There's Nodus."
Yeah.
Oh shit! But
Do you stop and say hi?
no, we had to let him do his thing.
Let him do his thing.
Yeah,
What-
he's walking. Sometimes he's with his kids, or he's got a surfboard. He's going out to surf or something. I'm just, or he's walking his dog. I'm just like, but
Wait, he lives near the curb? I'm confused.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
curb
same
that he
house.
used to shred
Yeah.
is
the
It's
same
right
house
there.
that he always, that was in the videos and everything.
He's in Venice, I think, but yeah. Right, he was.
No, Santa
He wa-
Monica.
but he was.
Oh,
like,
he was.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I go down there and skate a little bit. I just like the fact. Right now, I'm in a point where I just want to skate and have fun. I don't want to worry about filming an Instagram clip or filming this or working on this video part. Like, I just want to skate with my buddies and have a good time.
Do you feel any pressure that you have to walk the walk?
No.
No.
I mean, no. Girl and Chocolate. I'm still sponsored by Girl. I'm in Chocolate. I still have a board.
Well, that's
They
some
don't
pressure.
and I don't think so because I think
No?
I think that if it was affecting them having a board,
Yeah.
they would say, hey, we're. But I think they're smart enough to know how many boards to order and where I fit in
Got
and
it.
all that. Right? It's a recipe. So I don't think I'm taking away from anything, but I think I don't know. I just want to have fun. Like skating's all about fun. I spent my whole life trying tricks and not making them and driving back the drive of shame. So I just want to enjoy my time on the board now.
Yeah.
And if something comes up and somebody wants to film something, then cool. But
Yep.
I don't want to feel obligated to this phone in my hand or this TikTok algorithm or whatever.
Relevance.
Like,
I mean, but just in terms of the pressure
I feel like,
of being
man,
relevant.
I'm on the internet all the time.
Yes.
I come out with a video part every week.
Right.
You know what I mean? For the
Yeah,
Nine
that's
Club,
true.
where I'm on there so cool. If you're, I don't know. I know people want to see skating, but I just, if I feel the urge, I will.
Do you do any other stuff?
Recently, I've just been getting into being healthier. I walk.
You weren't healthy.
No, because I think when you're actively skating every day, you just are healthy. Skating keeps you young.
Yeah. You had a bad diet.
Yeah. So I'm changed my diet.
You're a fast food guy.
No, but I was definitely sugar oriented. and
Stopped
stuff
eating
like
candy.
that. 100%. I still dabble,
Yeah.
but
You got to dabble.
I try to eat cleaner.
Yeah.
I've been Pelotoning it, so I do 45 minutes in the morning of that. I try to do a 3 or 4 mile walk every day. I do a weightlifting thing now. I've been getting into that.
Oh, dang.
So I've been trying to like a core workout type thing. And it's all off the TV. Peloton has this whole, this isn't an ad, by the way. If they want to pay me, that's fine. I'll send you an invoice after
might have
the
been
show.
them. That might have been them calling.
Yeah, it's a big
Or
deal.
Manscaped.
It's a big
I don't
deal.
know.
It's a
One
big
or the
deal.
other.
Listen, Yeah, Manscaped, dude. That's a good
Don't take
That's
our
a good
sponsor.
product. That's our sponsor
We got
too.
one sponsor here.
That's
Don't
our-
take it.
But I think you feel good. You start to get addicted to it because you just feel, oh, I have more energy. I have this. I have you start to like I feel good now.
Yeah.
So other than 9 Club and trying to skate as much as I can, I've just been trying to focus on myself. And we started, I have my own YouTube channel that I worked on 4 or 5 years ago. Did a couple episodes the series is called I'm Glad I'm Not Me, but it's just basically myself and Tim Olson, who's great. The premise is I wanted somebody behind the camera bantering with me, but you never see that person.
Yeah.
You never see them. It's just always banter. And we just go and do things. There's no premise to it. There's no script. It's just he can meet me here and we can leave here and go do something and it's fine. And so, but we did 5 episodes of that. So now we're just getting that going again. So I'm just starting to do more stuff. I think we've streamlined the 9 Club. We are still streamlining it, but we're getting better at our craft. So I have more time. And that means more time to work on myself.
Yeah.
Work on other little things that I want to do. Because I think for 6 years, even this last year, 9 Club has just consumed my life.
Yeah.
Which is fine because I do enjoy it. I love talking.
Do you
to
recognize
people.
a lot?
Do I what?
Get recognized out in the wild?
Yeah. Which is a whole different recognition because it used to be, man, cool video part.
Right.
Now it's a recognition where they know me. I'm in their living room every day. They're having breakfast with me, dinner with me, and our crew, right? So it's weird. It's a
weird thing where they also feel like they know you.
Yes, and they're telling me things that I don't remember.
Yeah,
and I'm like, oh wow,
that's
I
weird.
said that. Oh, cool.
A lady at the pet store the other day said, "Hey, you're a comedian, huh?" And I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "Yeah, I saw you on the social medias," and I was like, "That's the first time that's ever happened."
That's sick.
Yeah.
The weirdest is I live in a big complex, and I was this is right after your clip went viral on our social media, and my neighbor was running and I was heading out on a walk. Hey, I saw you. You interviewed Tony Hawk. It's amazing. And I'm like, you're my neighbor. Oh no, this is not good. But it was pretty.
But
funny.
they didn't know what you were doing.
I mean, I don't talk to my neighbors about podcasting. They don't know about skateboard podcasts. But that's when I was like, oh man, this Tony Hawk clip is it's already working. People are already.
You're not friends with your neighbors?
Friendly.
Yeah.
100%.
You enjoy conversations with your neighbors?
Yeah, because they're just quick.
Right.
You don't.
Do you?
No.
I was going to say, where are we going with this?
Yeah.
I don't like people,
It's the opposite,
really.
yeah.
Yeah, but if you know that it's going to be a quick conversation,
Yeah, but it's never a quick
it's
conversation.
a stop and chat.
Yeah, but it's always, some stupid question about the backyard or something. I'm like, I don't care. I don't like grass. Like, what? I'm not a landscaper.
You have crabgrass, huh?
I got good grass, but I don't want to talk about it.
So do you tell your neighbors hey, I'm just not in the mood right now?
Nah.
You engage.
Yeah, I don't just say piss off.
Until they watch this and now they're like, oh God, I'm not going to talk
I
to
just
Ellis
feel like
anymore.
it's come over or something. I'm like, come over?
I feel like if you're talking to a neighbor, then every answer you give has a sense of closure, so you could just end it right there.
Yeah.
I feel that.
Yeah, that's all. Just let me go.
It's not open-ended. My wife is super good at that. There's no open-ended answer or discussion. It's like, this could end right here.
Yeah.
Are you good at that?
No.
I'm very good at that.
Okay.
But I learned that from being in the
Years.
public eye and talking and trying to connect. I love talking to people, absolutely, but I only have so much time.
Yeah.
And sometimes it gets a little tricky. So I'm just good at, having
Wrapping
an
it up.
interaction, but also that there is a sense of finality to it.
The funniest part, and God bless these people, the funniest part is when they don't sense that the conversation is winding down.
Yeah. I know.
And like I said, God bless them, but you're just like, I mean, you guys have done some 6-hour episodes, right? Mike Vallely is 5.5 hours. Clyde Singleton recently was like 4 hours plus. But Clyde is the man, though. Clyde is the best.
He made us
dude.
French toast. It was so good.
I watched that. That's amazing. He's such a rad.
He's so funny.
But
man.
that's the other part about this too is just being able to talk to people for that long. And I mean, Clyde Singleton is one of the reasons who he shaped my skateboarding. He was a part of that. You know, he was a part of my
part
favorite,
of the collective.
100%. You know, so to be able to hear and sit and listen to these stories firsthand and answer the questions that I've always been dying to know is like, that's
Do you ever
crazy.
Request questions from the audience from your?
We've done that sometimes. We used to have like it was so weird, man. Because long story short, when the pandemic hit, we were indoors. So we created the Stop and Chat show, which was because I didn't want to interview people over Zoom for the first time. I think it's very impersonal. I hate it. I think it's whack. So I wanted to have returning guests on there. We liked it so much when we got back in the studio, we kept that show. So now we have the 9 Club, we have the Stop and Chat, we have the live show. And so finally, we just recently combined everything. So now everything's a 9 Club, returning guests. We have duo episodes on people 2 at a time, 3 at a time. We have the whole Margera family on.
Wow.
And then now we have just 9 Club Live. We just simplified everything. But yeah, it's what were we talking about? This is what I'm good at. Is
happens.
You're supposed to wrangle me back in when I started going off on a tangent.
I've got
Ellis.
brain damage. I don't know what's going on. I know you're Chris. You're talking about how many different things the 9 Club does.
Yeah.
And now you've streamlined it.
We've streamlined it. So, but Tony asked a good question, though. That's why
Wasn't that good, obviously.
Blabbing. I started blabbing. But anyway, I think it's just nicer to have a streamline, you know, and yeah, I don't know where I was going with that, man. That's a damn shame.
Well, you were talking about how it was quarantine.
I'm gonna be
and
stop and chat,
and
the question was so
it all started
good.
with Clyde.
Is anybody else
Clyde.
listening to our conversation here? Huh?
Oh yeah, that's what
Yeah, let's just end this. Right
no,
now.
that was what it was. That's what we were talking about. Was when you're talking and people don't really get the cues that it might be over,
Dude.
and you just go along with it.
Even with Clyde, I tried so many times to end it, and he just kept going and going and going. But I love it, right?
Yeah.
It's just like you got to keep, like, you know. But we're sitting there for 4.5 hours.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys seem to have a system down here where it's like an hour, maybe a couple runs over a little bit.
Yeah, the goal is an hour, mostly because when we're recording here, we're getting guests in and out too. So we are a bit of a strict timeline, but every once in a while, like Rodney came and you're on Rodney's time when you're doing Rodney stuff because he is a vampire. And so we had to start late.
Okay.
And then we're just there. No one's coming in next.
No.
Sure.
Because
So you got
we're there till like 9 p.m., right?
Yeah, we're all pretty pumped he's there. That'll do.
Let's put it this way.
Yeah.
There's a whole Bones Brigade thing happening. I don't know if you saw that making the rounds, but there's going to be this Bones Brigade experience in November where everyone's getting together and you can buy tickets and there's a whole thing. But we all have to sign skateboards. All of us have to sign the same decks for this thing, and trying to coordinate everyone to be in the same place at the same time to sign decks was super hard. But then when you add Rodney in the mix, like it has to be after 6 p.m.
Well, he would skate at night too.
He does.
Right? He would skate at like 3 a.m.
He does still,
Right.
to this day.
Wow.
He lives his life at night.
Mm.
So, but to try, I'm just saying this is because it was just an email that happened yesterday, where like that day after 6 p.m. is when I have to deal with usually family stuff and like my daughter's in theater rehearsals and all this other stuff. And I'm like, well, we just all got to be on Rodney's time because that's how it goes.
And I feel like there are those people that you just concede that to, you know?
Oh, for
You're
sure.
Just like,
He's
okay,
worth
that's it. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. No, I'm not sitting here like, Rodney's a jerk. I'm just like, nah,
I know, but I'm just
he's
saying
an
like
enigma. Like he's
100%.
He's the master.
When Lil Wayne was on our show, I mean, I think he was late, obviously. He's a night
How late?
owl too. Hours. Like this was 7 years ago, but I think we started at like 11 or 12 at night, and we didn't finish
So
till like 2 or 3 in the morning.
have the distinct honor of having Lil Wayne here on time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which
you guys,
and I have done stuff with him.
You need a plaque on the wall.
You know why?
I have
dude.
done stuff with him. No, I've done stuff with him
Okay.
where it was for something else. Like we were doing Conan O'Brien together, and he was like 2 hours late.
It's Conan O'Brien.
To Conan,
Right.
Yeah.
They're on a schedule.
Oh yeah.
He doesn't live for a TV host. He lives for skateboarding.
Yeah.
And Tony
That's-
Hawk is asking him to be on his show. He's coming on time, enthusiastic.
Right.
Like he was talking to me like I was somebody.
Right.
And I was like, it's just because he's here.
Well, he was on time in his what are we calling that? His Sprinter.
Okay.
Yeah, he was on time in his Sprinter, but then he was in his Sprinter for a while. But
You got to love it.
you
gotta
dude,
love it.
We were so excited.
Yeah.
So stoked.
Yeah.
And he was so excited to share his passion. So who are the dream guests besides the one we trumped? Besides the one we poached
The
from
guys that you've already had on the show, Eric Costin for sure. He is my favorite skater. I think.
What do you think his aversion is?
You know Eric. I mean, he is. I wouldn't say shy, but he has those characteristics maybe, and I think I don't know. I think timing is everything. You know, some people we've asked to come on the show 3 years ago, and it's finally happening now. And I think it's just timing.
Yeah.
I think it's just, and I think everything just happens for a reason. So Rodney Mullen, we're coming up on our 300th episode soon. So we really want to get a guest who's like really, really good. Pairing up people together has been fun. We did a Chris Cole, Jamie Thomas, which was unbelievable. I want to get you and Christian Asoy on at the same time.
Yeah, I got that. I got that request yesterday.
I think that'd be so incredible, you know, just hearing the stories between you two and stuff like.
It would be pretty funny.
You know what I mean? Like I think it'd be amazing. Atiba, of course, legend in the game too. Rocco. Rocco is one that I think.
Where is he these days?
He's in Malibu. We had breakfast with him.
He'd never shy away from speaking his mind.
He wanted to meet us. He wanted to.
He wants to vet you.
Chad, the owner of Nixon, got us together, and he wanted to kind of feel it out. And he just sat there and told stories while we were at breakfast. We're like, dude, this is amazing. Like, we should just have a camera rolling. And then he got in his golf cart and left. And that was the last. We were like, oh man.
Wait, so that
nothing ever happened. But yeah,
that's kind of the vibe with Neil. Neil has wavered on doing this with us. But I think if I just go down to his house with a tape recorder, that's what it's going to take.
We're talking about Neil
Blender.
Neil Blender.
Yeah,
that's one too. But we always get people saying like, "Oh, that'll never happen." Heath Kirchart, right? Heath Kirchart. Oh my God, that'll never happen.
No, it won't happen here either.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But there are people we would.
Why won't it happen?
He's just
not down.
He's just one of those dudes.
He's always been very private.
He actually came. We did a episode with Patrick O'Dell, epically latered and stuff, and he came with Patrick because he wanted to see how the sausage was made. He wanted to see how everything was.
You mean as like a scouting trip?
He just came and wanted to see what was going on. So we were close. We had him in the building.
But I don't understand why. Like watching you guys, it's also complimentary to the guest. It all is very complimentary to the guest. I'm surprised that he would watch that and then be like, nah.
Even if we've had people there that weren't on the Guy Mariano came and watched the show.
Well, I will tell you, like, we were basically his first sponsor.
Yeah.
I skated with him when he was a child, skating a mani pad in Orange County, and then through the years and traveling with him.
Right.
And I traveled the country with him in tight quarters. You know what I mean? So it's he's an enigma.
He keeps it close to the chest. Yeah. It's funny. But listen, at the end of the day, it's up to them. We'd be more than happy to have people on, and I just think we forget because it's so normal to us. But I think everybody that comes to our show is very nervous. We have to like, you know, you guys been, we hang out for, you know, a half hour out, whatever the case may be. And their nerves start to, but it's just, I forget. I mean, they're skaters. A lot of them haven't been on podcasts. Maybe they've only done like written interviews.
Or it's funny because people don't, I think that's also a very unique thing to skateboarding, where people don't get into skateboarding with the desire of fame or fortune necessarily. Maybe fortune just so they can make a living doing it, of course. But the fame aspect is not where their head's at. And then when that comes with it, they're like, wait, what? I gotta talk?
Yeah.
What are you talking about? I don't want to do this. Like, this is not what I signed up for. And it's like, well,
Definitely.
you didn't. But if you want to keep it going, it might be
These are the outlets.
might be
now.
necessary. Yeah,
For sure. Jim Thiebaud is another one that we want on the show. And he's like, no, I'm not going to. Some
What?
people just don't want to talk about themselves.
Yeah,
You
I don't
know?
get it.
It's interesting because Thiebaud, I love you, Thiebaud. Like you gotta.
It's not gonna
I'm
work.
gonna get a phone call.
and also he is like one of the best, most ardent advocates of our charity.
Of
and
skateboarding in
Of
general.
skateboarding in general, but especially the skate park project.
Yeah,
Like, he's been so integral with making connections, and he's on every call.
yeah. He's amazing.
So we
And
love
I
him.
think he just doesn't want to sit here and talk about himself. But I respect that. And I think that I've had a conversation with him. He's like, yeah, if you get a couple more industry people and we can make it like an industry type episode, like that would be interesting.
To have a panel discussion.
I think that would be really cool. I mean, sometimes you got to like, it's
If
like
you could get him out of his shell if you had Tommy
yes, that's what we were thinking too.
there. Yeah, because he and Tommy just riff.
Right.
I mean, I used to go up to San Francisco just to go skate with them two, because it was so fun.
Right.
And it was almost like skating was incidental to us just getting together and laughing.
Mm-hmm. He's great.
So, yeah.
Yeah. No, it's interesting. I mean, I'm sure we go through the same things you go through trying to get people and
Yeah.
people's availability and stuff like that. But
Well, we appreciate you making yourself available
of course
for ours.
Yeah,
man.
see, this is the thing is I can feel that we're winding it down now. You know
Oh,
what I
yeah?
mean? Yeah. I can feel.
I mean, he
we're-
just did it though.
Yeah, but I caught
did it.
on. Right.
Yeah,
'Cause you
well,
don't know
yeah,
how many
it's not your first
times-
rodeo.
Right. Because I've tried. I know the cues. Yeah, I know the cues.
Or I can just say, just Howard Stern, well, you've said it all.
You've said it all.
We've said it all.
But you haven't said it all.
I have not. I haven't even begun.
you have a
but
lot to
I'll
say.
see myself out. No, but I want to thank you guys too, because also Tony, you've been so gracious with your time coming up to our place to play a video game with us and stuff like that. And I always thought that was amazing too, because like I think that you showed me your calendar and it's insane, but you make the time for skateboarders.
Oh,
you
yeah, well,
know?
that's always a priority.
Yeah,
for
man.
sure.
But like we appreciate that,
Oh, thank you.
like 100%. So I'll see you Monday. You coming up? Right?
Wait, I did offer a date.
I know,
For
but
the-
we do our live show. that
Oh, you blow it.
All right, well.
day. Like I said, I will see myself out now. Thank
There you go.
It's been a pleasure.
Oh, wait, your live show's starting. You better go.
Yeah.
My
I
live
have
show's
time.
about to
I
start.
have
I
time.
gotta go.
Roberts, everyone, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
thanks,
you
dude.
guys.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
Thank you
Thanks
guys.
thanks for not just uncovering, but giving people a perspective on skate history. I think that's hugely important, and you're doing it from the voices of the players themselves, and not just on hearsay and random people making YouTube clips about what they think the history of things are. So
I
thanks for doing
appreciate that. We try, and it's great to
He's
see
the Joe
that
Rogan of skateboarding.
I've heard that before.
There you
Yeah,
go.
I don't think we have his numbers, but
Right.
we were getting there.
Yep.
It's skateboarding,
Never
right?
give
I mean,
up.
we
Everybody skateboarding thinks you're cool, so who cares?
I would maybe beg to differ on that, but there's certain websites that people go in.
They can get these balls, you know that.
yeah, these
circus nuts.
They can get these circus nuts, son. Yeah.
Do you guys got an outro music? Hey, we'll take it away. No, just.
Oh wait, hold on.
Yeah.
On that note, why was it? It's Funky Town.
Yeah.
Why is it Funky Town?
Interesting.
You know, they play Funky Town.
That's our exit music. And you know what's
the
funny is I don't know. I was searching for something. I wanted something lightheartedness. I want something because this is skateboarding. It's not so serious. Let's not take ourselves too serious. Let's have fun with this.
Yeah.
But it just ended up being at the end of the show. But we ended up making our own version of it. I used our orchestra version in the beginning. So we teamed up with this.
I mean, you heard Funky Town one day. You're like, this is.
I was looking for music. Yeah,
that's pretty sick. Okay.
And I think too, I got into this intro like, well, we're back because I just think it sets the mood.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, hey, this isn't going to be.
It's like the 411 opener.
Yes, this isn't going to be a serious Lex Friedman podcast.
But
this is going to be a fun thing.
Yeah. But there's continuity, there's consistency.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
We need outro music.
I think it's just.
What's our outro music?
I don't know.
Why don't you sing like in the beginning of your show?
Well, I do. My show, I do. Yeah.
Would you come up with something here?
I don't think it's appropriate to sing the intro next to Tony every episode.
What if Tony sings with you?
That'd be different.
No, I'm saying just an outro music that takes us
wanna
out.
sing.
We should have you guys record something.
Yeah.
He doesn't.
Tony, I see you up on stage singing and doing stuff.
You're in charge. Just say no.
You were doing some
consider
punk show. I seen you up there yelling into the mic. I seen it.
Oh no, he loves singing in bands.
I think it's Masked Singer. Come on, we know your. Okay. We've seen your resume.
All right, well maybe it'll be a Cure song then.
We've seen your work. Yeah.
Can he go now? He's got terrible ideas.
What are you talking
now we're
about?
singing the Cure at the start of the show. Give me the.
We are evolving.
We are evolving.
This show.
That's it. Yes, we're.
Oh, Ellis is out of here. You gotta put the mic away from his mouth. Thank you guys so much.
Thanks. Check out Nine Club. Obviously, you have because you probably have. But if you haven't, go check them out.
Thank you. Love you guys.
Describe both of these channels.